Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to a new video. This week it's not the Aston Villa podcast part 3. Instead, it's something a bit different, a bit more like I used to do. It's going to be the team of the season so far. We're going to start off by we're going to do a 4-3-3 formation, and we're going to start off with each position. So Mitchell will say the goalkeeper, and then I'll give my goalkeeper, and so on. So, are you all right, Mitch? Are you looking forward to this? Have you got your list?
I have got my list, mate. Yeah, it's good. It's going to be good. It's
Yeah,
going to be
and
fun.
then at the end, after that, we're going to have to decide who's not whose team's best, but we're going to have to both put the teams together to make one team of the season so far. So let's start off with the goalkeeper. Mitchell, you go first.
Right. I think obviously this season, Man City are playing awesomely. So most of my team is going to be like dictated from the Man City squad. But I think in goal I've got Ederson. He's got 14 clean sheets, which is the most out of any keeper in the league, which you can't really argue against that, I don't think. And his distribution, it's like having a midfielder in goal, isn't it? I reckon he could probably do a shift for most teams in midfield. But yeah, so I'm going to go for Ederson in goal.
Okay, well, actually, already to kick things off, we've got a different goalkeeper. So hopefully it stays like that throughout the video and we're not just picking the same players. I've actually gone for Martinez from Aston Villa. He joined for 15 million from Arsenal. I think he can rise to 20, but he joined for 15 million. And so far, he has 12 clean sheets in 22 games. And realistically, he's probably the best signing this season across the entire league. The fact that Arsenal didn't play him for 10 years is madness, really. So for me, I'm going Martinez. So at the end of our teams, we'll have to decide which one of those goalkeepers actually gets into the team.
Yeah.
So next up, we have right back, and I'll go first this time. I've actually gone with João Cancelo from Man City. He had quite a tough start last season. He didn't really come into his own last season. It was a bit of a disappointment for your price he cost. I can't remember exactly. I forgot to check. Was it about 50 million? It
I'm
was
not.
a
It was quite a lot
it
for a
was a
right
lot.
back.
It was a lot
Yeah.
for a right back. This season he's been it's easily been the best right back in the league.
Oh
He's
yeah.
great going forwards. He's one-touch football and pass and move. He's brilliant. And he's more defensively sound than other right backs who are better going forward, such as Alexander Arnold's and probably maybe Reece James. So, who's your right back, Mitch?
I've actually gone for the same, which I hope it doesn't carry on like that. But yeah, I've gone for Cancelo. I think what Pep's done, like for that right back and left back position, has like yet again he's just shown that he's taking football to a different level. The adaptation of playing his fullbacks in front of the back four as a holding midfielder when they're attacking and getting them to push up is just it's throwing teams off, and I think it's another revolutionary method that Pep's brought to football. But yeah, so I've gone for Cancelo at right back.
Of course, obviously as well, he can play left back, so versatility is always a big bonus in the Premier League these days, purely because of the fact that it gives more options for the team. Okay,
Yeah.
now give me one of your first two centre backs.
Okay, so I'll go for my so the right centre back, as you will. I've gone for John Stones. I think in that centre back position, he's been solid since he's come into the Man City team. He's looked confident on the ball. As we all know, he's always been a great football player. He can play football, but in past seasons, his defence was questioned. And I think this season he's been solid. He's been doing his job. And through Man City's clean sheets, it's clear that I think he will be a starting player for Southgate. I can't see how he won't be, considering the other potential centre backs for England.
Don't know about, mate.
Yeah.
It's got to be Tyrone Mings.
God, definitely not.
My centre back, I think it's pretty clear who the other centre back is going to be, so we'll save him for a minute. But I struggle actually to pick a centre back out of the list because there's a lot of centre backs who are good and consistently good. You know, you've got like Ben Mee and may have a names go out my head. Ben Mee and Tarkowski and Vestergaard for Southampton, all very good centre backs. But I've actually gone with Wesley Fofana from Leicester, and he's only 20 years old. He replaced Sanucci, who was injured, and he's been really good since he came on. He's strong in the air. I think he's won 53 aerial duels so far this season, which is, you know, very good. He's also very comfortable on the ball, which is important now for a modern day centre back. And he's only going to get better with experience. So I think Leicester are doing really good this season, considering the injuries that they have had. And he's one of the players that has come in and filled the shoes excellently. So the centre back position was quite hard for me, but I would say my personal second choice centre back would be Fofana. So let me guess who's the other centre back in your team, Mitchell. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Diaz.
Yeah, same.
Ruben
here,
Diaz.
Same here, of course.
I think his calmness and composure on the ball, and just in high pressure situations, brings out the best in the players around him. Like, I think we've had this conversation before. John Stones wouldn't be as good he has been this season without Diaz next to him. He's got a calm head. He does the basics correct, and he focuses on doing those basics, which is, I think this season's been outstanding signing for Man City.
Yeah, I'll say him and Martinez so far are in the running for the two signings of the season.
Yeah,
across the league easily. I mean, he cost 60 million, so it's a fair bob for a centre back. It really is.
You'd rather spend 60 million on Diaz than 85, was it, on Maguire?
Well, yeah, exactly. If you compare him to Maguire, or even if you compare him, you know, he's had the same sort of effect, I would say, that Van Dijk had at Liverpool.
Yeah, I think he's probably
dissimilar.
Yeah, I think he's the best Man City centre back at the moment. He's probably the best since Kompany.
Oh, easily, yeah. Kompany in his prime. Don't forget, obviously, when Kompany was centre back, he made the centre back partner with him better because he was never really partnered up alongside a great player. He was partnered with Lescott and Otamendi and Mangala and Stones, and they were always the weak link. And Kompany made the defence better. I think that's what Diaz is doing with Stones. Stones is by no means a bad player, but he's made him a lot better. And recently, he's been with Laporte the past couple of games, and he's been very good with Laporte as well, because Laporte's a great player. And normally he's my favourite centre back in the league, but because he hasn't really played that much this season, he's been injured. But Diaz is, brilliant. As he said, it's going to be a couple Man City players in this team. But shockingly, it seems as if it's going to be mostly the defence, which is the first time we've said that in a few years, considering their attacking options. Their defence is actually the strongest. So, okay, moving on, left back, who have you got? I also struggle with this position, but I know we both and ahhing on this.
Left back wise, I think I've gone for Luke Shaw. I think he's got 5 assists this season, which for a left back it's a good number for a left back. I think it's the best I've ever seen Luke Shaw play. I think it's maybe the tough love from Mourinho when Mourinho was there seems to have worked, because he seems to be fitter, he seems to be more agile. I think he's wanting the team to do well, which is nice to see. And I think, I think he's banging down Southgate's door as well, with obviously Ben Chilwell falling out of favour at Chelsea. I think even if he wasn't falling out of favour, I still think Luke Shaw on his day is probably the best English left back, considering Southgate will never go for a player outside of the top 6. So, yeah.
Shaw is actually my sort of honourable mention for this top 11. He didn't get into the team. I forgot to say earlier, Ederson as well was an honourable mention, but we can discuss Ederson a bit later on when we decide our team together.
Yeah.
But Luke Shaw as well, we'll have to see. You might be able to convince me to fit him in the team, but he's pocketed a couple of very good players so far this season. The game against Liverpool, I think it was in January, was the best game I think I've ever seen him do. Going forwards, great, and he kept Salah at bay the whole game. He's done that a couple of times this season, and he's got a lot better going forwards, which is obviously very important as well, because Rashford now can use him on the overlap, whereas for the past couple of years he hasn't been able to. My left back, however, is actually another Leicester player, and that's James Justin. I know he's a left back, he's a right back. you can play both. A bit like Cancelo, you can just swap them. That's what you can do. You can keep swapping them around. Obviously, as I say, injuries have ravaged the Leicester team this season. But again, for such a young age, I think he's only 23. He's been really good. 9 clean sheets, 2 goals and assists. He's the ultimate modern fullback. He's great going forwards, and he's sharp defensively. He's again like the other defenders. He's so young. He's only going to get better with better players around him. So I think for me, just in the other team.
Yeah. So obviously, then we've got that holding midfielder role.
Yeah, we've gone for 4-3-3 holding of the midfields.
Yes, as it states on FIFA.
As it states on FIFA, yeah. 4-3-3 holding. Stay back while attacking, in particular.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I've gone for Spurs' Højbjerg. Again, I thought this one was quite difficult as well because often the unsung hero of any great team. So it's hard to see. It's hard to measure what a good defensive midfielder player is. Because is it, the pass accuracy and the passing? Rodri for Man City is a fantastic passer. Kante for Chelsea is a brilliant tackler and man marker and great at covering the back four. So I've actually gone for someone who's a bit of both. And this season, Tottenham have been strange, haven't they? I mean, Mourinho likes to play a very defensive, direct play. So to have I think it's an 88% pass accuracy in a Mourinho team is quite impressive. And if it wasn't for the shocking defence behind Højbjerg, I think Tottenham would be doing a lot better this season because he does his role to perfection for the most part. He did give away a penalty. I'm sure the other day, actually, he did give away a penalty.
But, yeah, he did, didn't he, on Gundogan?
Yeah, it was a silly penalty to give.
Questionable penalty. I think Gundogan had lost the ball, but hey-ho, we'll move on from that.
31 interceptions as well. So, yeah, he's one of those. He's a solid all-round defence midfielder, and you need to play like that in the team, especially with his formation, where we'll get on later on. It's quite an attacking team.
It is.
So you need a couple players who will sit back and main job be to defend. So who's your defensive midfielder?
My holding midfielder, a bit of a questionable one, as I'm sure you'll pull a face at it. It's Declan Rice for West Ham.
Yeah, questionable is the right word.
I think the season West Ham are having, they're playing out their skin, and Declan Rice is the captain. He's a very young man. He's very good. He's very composed. Whenever he's got the ball, he always seems to have time to pick out a pass. He's keeping the West Ham team in shape. He's keeping them disciplined. And I think for his captain trait and his ability to play a simple ball, which is an underrated ability, I think, just play a simple ball is, so for me, he'll be my holding midfielder, just to bring that bit of calm-headedness and composure and discipline to the team.
Well, we can have a bigger discussion in a bit when we decide between Højbjerg and Rice. I've actually got an honourable mention again for midfield. You can potentially have you got any honourable mention for midfield players but didn't get in? A defensive midfielder, shall I say? No, yours are more attacking. Well, I've actually picked Souček. It's a hard one to put him on the team because of the 2 players we're going to put ahead of him, or the 2 players I'm going to put ahead of him. I'm assuming you're going to put the same 2 players ahead. But
probably,
Souček,
yeah.
But Souček this season has been the ultimate David Moyes, Mourinho midfielder. He's big in the air. He'll win balls in their box, in his own box, in the attacking box, in the middle of the park. He'll get goals. He'll run non-stop as a box-to-box. I think it'd be a disservice.
He's like a rich man's Fellaini, isn't he?
He's a rich man. He's a better Fellaini, exactly.
Yeah, he's just better in his Fellaini.
Yeah,
he's like 6'4", is he?
Yeah, he's
tall,
massive,
skinny, good in the air, can defend.
Likes to throw elbows.
Likes to throw his elbows. He got a red card, didn't he? Actually,
yeah, unfair, but
which led to certain death threats being made, which is ridiculous. It's football, but
yeah,
hey ho.
No.
But yeah, no, I can see why you've gave him a mention. He has been outstanding.
He's been excellent. I mean, West Ham as well. I've not got a West Ham player in this team, and they're perhaps unlucky not to have a West Ham player in the team because they've been really good this season.
Yeah.
Antonio's been quite good. I mean, he's not as good as the attacking players ahead of him,
Yeah.
but he's still a very good player. So West
Well,
Ham
with the
have
left
been
back
good.
with Shaw, I think the second one to Shaw was Cresswell. 'Cause
Yeah,
Cresswell,
Cresswell. He's played
it
in like
has
a back
been.
five, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's got 6 assists this season,
Mm,
Cresswell, which is like
excellent for a
it's
fullback.
excellent for a
Yeah.
defender. But yeah, so yeah.
Okay, move on to the two midfielders either side of Højbjerg. It doesn't really matter which side they play on.
Do you
You
want to
give
go
me yours
first?
first. No, you give me yours
Okay.
first.
Do you want both of them or just the one?
I'm assuming we've got the same two, so go both. And I'll
Yeah, so I've got
agree.
Gundogan
Yeah.
and Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, same.
I
Obviously.
think it's ridiculous not to go with either of those. I'll start with Bruno. He's got 14 goals and 9 assists, which for a midfield player, he's accumulated the second most goal involvements, direct goal involvements than any other player.
Yeah.
Well, the second most, so one football player in front of him. But yeah, I think he's changed that United side from a mid-table side to a top 4 team.
Yeah.
I don't think by any means they're not pushing for the title. They're not pushing for
it's out their reach already, really.
Yeah,
Man City.
this season, yeah. I think but yeah, I think Fernandes, you can't make a team without him. I think he's, if not then the second most influential player to our team in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's a very one-man team.
It really is. He's easily the best signing since Ferguson left Man U.
Oh yeah, 100%.
A January signing as well, and he fit in instantly. He came in January last season, straight away fit into the team perfectly. We had lockdown and we had the restart, and he was like he lived here his whole life, so he's been fantastic. I mean, he does score a lot of penalties, but he's also scored a few bangers as well.
Yeah.
He scored quite a nice goal the other day.
I think Cantona goal.
Yeah, as well. That was beautiful. I mean, he's perhaps overrated by some Man U fans and by some pundits. He's not,
yes, but United fans are like that, aren't they?
Yeah, he's not one of the best players in the world, but he's one of the most influential players in a team in the world. I mean, he makes a lot of. Yeah, I mean, I've got my own opinions on Fernandes, where I don't think he's as good as people think he is. But it would be a disservice to say he's not good enough to be in this team of the season.
No.
I mean, 14 goals, 9 assists, as he says, it's they're striker numbers, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah, they are.
Like
he's got.
Yeah. So he's playing number 10. You don't find the number 10 seems to be coming back into fashion almost as well, which is good.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's more the fact that some of these teams don't really have an out-and-out striker. I know Cavani's came in now for.
Yeah, he's been quite good.
United, and he is an old-fashioned centre forward, which it's nice to see because he's a good player. But yeah, I think Bruno, through the times that Ederson's not playing, because when Ederson does play, Bruno does drop back a little bit, and he picks up a creative role. If you do look at him,
What about Ederson?
Edison Cavani.
Oh, Cavani. I was thinking different team that is, mate.
No, his name's Edison Cavani, isn't
it? Yeah. I was a bit confused then.
First name terms, mate.
Yeah, good mate.
First name terms. Yeah, Edison Cavani. Sorry, but yeah, I think when Edison Cavani does play, Bruno Fernandes does drop back, and he does pick up a more creative role in the middle of the park rather than a goal scoring.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and then obviously the other midfielder, Gundogan.
He's probably the most on-fire player in the world right now.
Yeah, without Man City, obviously haven't had an out-and-out striker
all season,
and the way he's pushing forward and getting in between defenders and making those deep runs is like he's been a centre forward all his life.
I mean, I believe Man City have had 9 players play striker this season.
Yeah.
Which is insane. He's not played striker this season, but he's still, I think, their top goal scorer. He has 11 goals.
So, yeah, their top goal scorer, yeah.
Which is brilliant. De Bruyne is obviously injured as well. He has been for a couple of weeks, and I think he is for a bit longer.
Yeah.
Guerrero's not been fit. David Silva, obviously, is left. And Gundogan, of all the players that you'd expect to fill the gap that he left, I don't think anyone saw Gundogan being the one to do that.
I think this season you've got like an insight into Gundogan because he's such an intelligent football player. He knows where the ball's going. He knows what defenders are doing. And I don't think he's the most technically gifted athlete. As you can see when you look at him, he's not fast. He's not overly strong, but he's just so intelligent. His brain is a deflated football. It's like he just knows where he's got to be. And when you look at him, he'll give a player a little nudge, but it won't be a foul. But it will just be enough to get that step ahead of them.
Yeah.
Just to give him that extra time and his composure when he does get into the box. From most midfielders getting up that high, it's like, oh God, what do I do now?
Panic.
But it's like he may as well build a tent in the box. He loves it in there.
Definitely. I mean, again, he's been not average at Man City since he joined, but he's not been spectacular. He's not really been a player that comes to mind when you think of Man City's 100-point season or their one where Liverpool were like 2 points behind.
Yes.
He's not been the player that you look at and think, yeah, that's the reason they won the league. But this season, if Man City win the league, which they probably will, a massive part of that goes down to Gundogan. And, he's in his prime of his career. I think he's 28, maybe 27. Guardiola's always said he's a great player. And he's really, really coming to his own as like an ultimate box-to-box. But more so now, he's like an attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
So on this team with Fernandes and Gundogan, one of them's got to sit back. And I don't want to be the one to tell either of those with their double-digit goals.
No,
you have to be supporting the defence,
box to box. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I wouldn't want to have that conversation. But yeah, so which way do you want to go first, left or right?
We're English. We'll go left to right. Start with your left wing.
So obviously, as a Villa fan, it was very hard. Very, very hard to leave Grealish out, so I haven't. It's Grealish. I think it was very close between him and Son. Obviously, Son has been outstanding this season, him and Kane together. But as you can see, when Kane went out injured, Son didn't have the impact. And that's why I've chose Grealish over him. Because I think Grealish is very much still carrying Villa. Not as much as he has previous years, but he's still always the most
important player,
influential player on the pitch. Yeah, if he's not on form, Villa aren't on form.
No, exactly.
If he's not playing out of his skin and to the best of his ability, Villa aren't playing to the best of their ability. So I think, and with obviously his creativeness and his ability to glide past players when he wants, and just his skill level. I don't think in our lifetime, I don't think we've really seen a player that you could say, oh yeah, he plays exactly like him. Because I don't think there was one.
Yeah, there's similarities to maybe Hazard, but they're slightly different players. But the ability to glide past players with ease is... Yeah, he's unique. He's easily one of the most unique players in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And technically gifted as well. He's technically gifted player. He's naturally a fantastic football player. And he's getting better with goals and with assists. He's got 10 assists and 6 goals, which is the best return he's ever had, only halfway through the season. He should have had more, actually. He should have got a couple more assists. Chances created, I believe he's only behind like Fernandes and De Bruyne. And he may have gone ahead of De Bruyne now. He's up there at the best in the Premier League and one of the best in Europe. He gets fouled the most. He travels the most distance with the ball. As you said, with Son, he was in my honourable mentions as well. Son is a man who needs Kane there, really. I mean, without a doubt, Son and Kane's partnership is probably the best partnership we've seen since Henry and Bergkamp.
Yeah, I think Shearer had one, didn't he? Who was it? Shearer and... I can't think of it.
It's either Sherwood or Sutton, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they're I think they were like 1 goal away from beating the record. They might have beat it by now. It's been a while since I looked at that.
By the end of the season, it's been beaten. I think we've already got 12 goals between them combined.
Yeah,
shall I say?
Yeah, combined. Yeah, but yeah, so we'll Are we both going for Grealish then? Are we on the
Yeah,
left?
easily. I mean, we both with Villa fans as well. So
Exactly. I tried not to put as too many Villa players in.
Well, there's only two.
So,
You know,
I know
Concert, he
you
should be in
could
there.
argue for Target and left back. Target's been outstanding for Villa
He has been
defensively.
outstanding. Yeah, he has been
But-
very good.
And then you can argue for Watkins because he's been very. If he was in
Watkins
any
been
other
very good.
team, he probably would have had like more goals. But yeah, anyway, we'll I think
Grealish is quite
if
an easy
Grealish
choice
doesn't-
between the two of us.
yeah, if Grealish doesn't start at the Euros in our strongest team,
Yeah.
then I will honestly stop watching international football because they must have it in their contract. They have to play top 6
Yeah.
players. And if
It's
they
ma-
don't, then there must be sponsorships or something. That I'm
Yeah.
starting a conspiracy here. But
there is no reason why Rashford should be in that team ahead of Grealish.
I don't think Rashford should get on the plane.
No,
That's-
I don't. I
so
don't
that's
either.
conversation for a different day, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, definitely is. But I agree. Grealish is one of the most unique players in Wales, one of the best players in the league. And I think, obviously, with rumours that he's going to sign potentially a 200 grand a week contract at Villa, which is massive. It will make him the highest paid player for Villa ever by a mile. He's already on 100 grand a week, so double it. But if it keeps him at Villa and keeps him away from Man U and potentially Man City and other teams that are going to be after him, it's quite funny that Arsenal think they can get him when they're barely even fighting for Europe.
I don't get that. Like, they were good once upon a time. Teams have their day, and I firmly believe Arsenal's is over now.
Yeah,
Well,
thank God.
As their good players filter out that they've got now, like your Aubameyang and
That's about it,
Aubameyang.
Mitch. Mm.
Yeah, Aubameyang and
Martinez. Oh, wait, no, he's gone.
yeah, but I think once
Is it us?
he filters out, then I can't see that Arsenal team doing better than 10th.
No. Well, I don't know. Saka. We go on a tangent. I'll just say Saka was also an honourable mention for me.
Saka.
I think Saka's very good. Emil Smith Rowe might come good. So Arsenal got quite a few good young players. So we'll move on quickly. Saka was an honourable mention. He's a good player, but he's not on the same level as our right winger. But I'm assuming you've put in as well, because I've put in Mo Salah from Liverpool.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Just because Liverpool aren't their
on
best,
fire.
and
Yeah.
they haven't been to the standard we've expected from Liverpool over the last few years at all.
No.
But Salah's got 17 goals.
Yeah, it's 5 more than anybody else. There's still
exactly. It's
13, 14 games left of the season. You know, he could potentially reach the 30 goal mark again. Maybe not, but he's on a league of his own. I mean, I saw a stat the other day that as a winger, he's reached 100 goals, or he's about to reach 100 goals. It took Ryan Giggs about 500 matches to reach 100 goals. It's took Salah just over 100 games to reach 100 goals, like 140 games. You know, that proves. Hazard is seen to be thought as one of the best Premier League players in the last 10 years. But in my money, Hazard's not half your player, actually, but Salah is.
No. I think maybe we could do that. Team of the last 10 years.
Team of the decade. Team of the 2010s.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
Very difficult. But yeah, I don't think there's much really more to say on Salah. You get what you know you're going to get. Most games he's 10 out of 10 performance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he doesn't get many assists and he should pass off more. That's his biggest problem. And diving. The selfishness and the cheating, I think, has lowered him in the eyes of a lot of football fans.
Yeah. I don't like I say, like cheating, diving, stuff like that. It's part of the modern football, unfortunately. It's like VAR. We hate it, but it's not going anywhere, unfortunately. And VAR's just making it worse because it seems to be like basketball now. If you get a touch, it's a foul.
Yeah.
Where football has never really been a non-contact sport. It's like you can go shoulder to shoulder, you can argy-bargy as you will, but now anything is a foul, and it's getting ridiculous.
Okay, we just had a tiny little break there because I had something stuck in my eye. But we're back to it now, and we're right near the end. Yeah. Striker. Mitchell, go on. Who's your striker?
My striker's Harry Kane. He's been directly involved in 24 goals. He's got 13 goals scored and 11 assists, which is the most by any player in the league. And I think this season, what he's been doing is it's weird. He's kind of like created a new position. It's like box to box striker. He's creating a lot. He's scoring a lot. Plus, what people seem to forget as well, he's been out for 4 or 5 games this season. He's been injured. So think about the figures if he hadn't been injured.
Yeah.
And even with the injury, like if he didn't get injured and he had these stats, it would still be amazing. Like he is the best striker in the league. And yeah, I think he's once again shown that he's England's number 1 striker.
Number 9.
Number 9, that was
Yeah, I mean, as well, if he was in any other team other than a defensive Jose Mourinho team, he would be one of the best players in the world. I think realistically, he's one of the best strikers in the world. He's top 5 striker in the world. He has been for the last 5-6 years. If he wasn't so injury prone, I think you'd be talking about him as a potential Alan Shearer goal record breaker. I don't think he will break it because he gets injured too often. He's never going to play 35 games a season.
No, like Alan Shearer did.
Yeah, he's just not going to be able to. He gets injured too often. But he's an exceptional player. I've somehow not put him in my team, and for one reason, it's because of your fact.
We'll talk about your ridiculous theories when we decide that Harry Kane's playing in our actual team.
I might have to put him in because he's so good.
I will humour you.
You'll humour me for now.
I'll humour you.
I've actually put Calvert-Lewin at striker from Everton.
Yeah,
I think 13 goals this season.
Yeah, I did put him as an honourable mention. Like he has, the beginning of the season was outstanding. He seems to have dropped off the last couple of months. He's had various injuries as well, which obviously stop players' momentum. But I think at the beginning of the season, if we did this podcast 5 weeks ago, he'd be my number 1. But we didn't, so he's not.
Well, it was also great last season when Ancelotti came in. He's a different player underneath Carlo Ancelotti, and that proves what a good manager can do to a player.
Yeah,
because he's always been sort of there and thereabout, but he hasn't scored enough. He's always been great in the air and good holes up and quite fast, but he's not got enough goals as a poacher. And the reason I've put him in the team ahead of Kane is because he's a poacher. The team that we are potentially going to go for as the ultimate team of the season, but actually no, the midfield and attack is basically the same. We've got Fernandes, Gundogan, Salah and Grealish, and with those 4 players threading passes in, you need a poacher. Calvert-Lewin scored the most non-penalty goals this season.
Yeah, but you forget that Kane usually is the poacher. He's only coming back and doing bits for the team because the team around him aren't organised.
Well. He's no longer the poacher he was. I think Harry Kane is the second best striker in the world as a striker. He's behind only Lewandowski. But now he plays this false 9, centre forward, Bergkamp-esque, Cantona, whatever his role that he does. He's constantly dropping into the halfway line to spray out passes to the wingers.
But to do that and still get 13 goals and 11 assists.
That's in a Tottenham team where he's the main man, though. If you put him at, Man City, for example, and actually tell him, be a target man.
He'd probably get more goals because of the service he's getting.
If he stays as a target man and a striker, not this stupid second striker that he does, it frustrates me beyond belief that Harry Kane has moved away from being a world-class striker to some sort of attacking midfielder. It frustrates me.
I feel like your personal vendetta has got the better of your professional judgment here,
I love Harry Kane. I think he's an amazing player, but I did not like the
So should we agree that Harry Kane's playing striker for the team then, yeah?
If he plays striker.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where he plays, he's still got more goals and more assists than Calvert-Lewin, therefore the better striker.
Are penalties really goals, though, really?
Yes.
It shouldn't be counted the same as a goal. Penalty should not be counted the equivalent of a normal goal.
I think this season has proved, though, that not everyone can score a penalty. Man
No,
City
but
are having issues with penalty.
It's inherently
Like-
easier to score a penalty than it is a normal goal from outfield, a normal
Yeah,
play.
I agree.
A penalty should not count towards statistics of goals, in my opinion.
Well, at least your opinion isn't counted then.
Well, exactly. Well, okay. Have you got any other honourable mentions? Because I've got one more honourable mention.
I've just got, which I forgot to say, was Martinez in goal. Obviously, he's had, what was it, 12 clean sheets. He's made 84
12.
saves. He's made 84 saves.
I think second most saves in the league or something.
Behind
it's
Sam
good,
Johnston.
Though. Yeah, it's good. It's high.
When you're playing the West Brom side that don't really have
13 points, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
We've got more than double that.
Another vendetta, Logan.
Hate West Brom.
But anyway,
there's no West Brom players in this team.
Yeah.
They can't even polish for boots. Anyway. They can't even polish for boots of your players in this team, apart from Sam Johnston, who's quite good.
We'll do a worse team in a minute, and that'll just be West Brom and Sheffield United.
Yeah.
But anyway, like Edison made 37 saves. That's not even half the amount as Martinez has saved. But I think, so
we'll
Martinez
come on to that in a minute.
Yeah, Martinez, Calvert-Lewin, and Son were my honourable, because even though I've slated you about Calvert-Lewin, he has been outstanding this season, especially at the beginning. He's dropped off a bit now. I'd love to see him carry his form, but we'll see, won't we? We'll see. I'm sure.
We're only halfway through the season.
Exactly, and he's a good backup striker. So when we're in the Euros and Kane's up front, because Kane's the better striker, is good for a backup, and he can run the water on for Kane and give him a back massage.
Yeah, make sure his hammies haven't gone.
Oh yeah.
My actual other honourable mention is again another striker. If we'd gone like 4-4-2, it probably would be a bit easier, but then you would be missing. Actually, no, 4-4-2 probably would have worked. Actually, it would never work as a team. It would be far too attacking. It would never work. Fernandez and Gundogan in midfield.
Just outscore them. Just outscore the other team.
Yeah, it works.
You don't win matches without scoring goals.
Yeah, Leeds are doing well, aren't they? With their conceded nearly as many goals as their scores.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
No, it doesn't work, Mitchell. End of. My honourable mention is actually from Leeds, and obviously it's not going to be a defender, is it? It's Patrick Bamford. Purely because in the Championship, he was told you're not good enough for the Championship. In the Premier League, he's been told you're not good enough for your Premier League. You're not clinical enough. You're not going to score enough goals. He scored 12 goals this season, which is that the same as Calvert-Lewin? Or it's one less than Calvert-Lewin, who's in the team, and it's like one less than Kane, who's in your team, and Bamford is playing for Leeds, and they score a lot of goals. But in fact, we've
just established that Leeds' game plan is to outscore the other team, and he's their main striker, so of course he's going to get goals in a team that try to outscore the other team.
Not necessarily though, because if you look at other teams like Bournemouth who try to play attacking football, they got relegated because they didn't have a goal scorer. Callum Wilson wasn't getting enough goals; he was injured all the time. Among many other teams that have done that, you've actually got to be scoring for goals, haven't you?
Yeah. No, you are right. Yeah.
I'd say purely Bamford, just because he's been such a surprise. I'd say he's been one of the surprises of the season.
Yeah, I think
a player that's been very good, shockingly.
Yeah, I do watch a lot of football, and I am saying this half because I believe it and half just to annoy you. I watch a lot of football, and I think if he was in a better side, he'd one be England's number one, and two be the best keeper in the league. I think Sam Johnston.
I like Sam Johnston. I used to
world-class goalkeeper.
I think potential world-class goalkeeper.
I think if he was in a better side and he was trusted to play in goal, which I don't see why he's not, he would be England's number one.
Nick Pope is very good though.
Yeah, but Sam Johnston would be England's number one.
I disagree, but I'd say Nick Pope is third choice in this list and number one for England. But we can move on to England another time because we're going to do the England team, the 23-man squads that we'll take to the Euros. But for now, let's go through our combined team. So first of all, just give me a rundown of your starting 11.
So I've got Ederson in goal, Cancelo right back, Stones right centre back, Diaz left centre back, with Luke Shaw at left back, then Declan Rice in front of that back four. Gundogan and Bruno Fernandes in the middle. Creativity. Grealish left, Salah right, and Harry Kane up front.
Okay, my starting 11 for my team would be Martinez in goal, a back four of Cancelo at right back with James Justin at left back, and the centre back partnership of Ruben Diaz and Wesley Fofana. A holding midfield of Højbjerg from Spurs, supported by the creative brilliance of Fernandes and Gundogan. And then a front three of Grealish on the left, Salah on the right, and Calvert-Lewin just at striker.
Okay, so shall we? This is going to be difficult because I think all the players that I've put in that you haven't put in are better than your players. So I'm going to have to try and understand your nonsenseness here.
Well, obviously you think that because you put them in.
Well, exactly.
So okay,
right. Should we start with goalkeeper?
That's probably the hardest one to actually choose from.
I think to be fair,
I think Ederson is in theory, a better goalkeeper. But this season, which is what we're basing on, Martinez has been the best keeper in the league.
Yeah, I will swallow it here and give you Martinez in goal. One, because I'm a Villa fan and he's one of my favourite players at the moment. He's awesome. And two, because I think the goals, the saves he's making world-class saves. And he's not just doing it for the cameras. He's not just an acrobatic goalkeeper. He does the acrobats if he needs to. Mm-hmm. So I will give you Martinez in goal.
Okay, right back is, we both agree, João Cancelo. That's what and then centre-back, Diaz.
Yeah.
But Stones or Fofana, I would potentially give you Stones, I think. The only problem being, I don't want just Man City players in this team.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It is hard. It's like... if Ederson's it'd be like picking a Bundesliga side without just choosing Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
It's difficult because Man City are the best team, so they've got the best players this season. But I can see where you're coming from with Fofana because, like I say, I watch a lot of football, and when he does play, he's playing like he's been playing for 15 years at the highest level. He is looking very at home. But I think the impact that Diaz and Stones have together, and the way that Stones, like I say, can play football, he can create attacks from the back. That is why, for me, he is over Fofana, because Stones, like I say, is a creative defender, as you will. He can play football and he's starting to do the basics right.
I will agree with you there. Ederson's not in it, so therefore Stones can go in it. When you've got a back two of Stones and Diaz where they've conceded like 1 or 2 goals in 12 games or 10 games,
yes,
or something ridiculous, then he can't not be in it, I suppose. So I'll give you that. Left back is another one we differed. Shaw and Justin. Really difficult this is, because I also had Shaw as my secondary left back.
Yeah, see, I didn't have Justin as my secondary, therefore logic-wise, Shaw goes in.
Who do you think is a better player?
I honestly think Shaw this season has been outstanding.
Well,
in a Man United team that are playing well
since December, really.
Yeah, but okay. So in a United side that they're playing okay, they're not playing terribly. I think he's been except for Fernandes, he's been the second most outstanding player for that team. He's the most improved over the last few seasons, and. Put it this way, so you're Southgate and you've got to pick between Justin and Shaw to start the match. Who are you picking?
Shaw.
There you go, Shaw at left back then.
Okay, Shaw at left back.
Swiftly moving on.
Højbjerg gets in ahead of Rice every day of the week.
I completely disagree. I think
the
composure and the calmness that Rice brings to that.
What is he actually good at, though? A 5-yard pass does not make him a good player. Defensively, he's not as good as Højbjerg, and he's not.
I disagree. I think he's a great defensive player, and I think Højbjerg sometimes lets his emotion get on top of him. It does. When you watch him play, he is not very calm-headed, and I've done it based. I know we're choosing the best player for each position, but if this team, for some reason, there's Rich Arab that's just brought Charlton, and they're picking this team, you need someone like Rice in that team to keep
I
everyone
disagree.
composed,
I
everyone
think you've got a
on a
couple of players
level.
like that. You've got Diaz, for example, who can do that. You've got Fernandez is quite a good leader naturally. Grealish can lead as well. I don't think Rice is the sort of player that you need to be calm heading that defence. If anything, you might need a little bit of aggression, and a little bit of fight, a bit of spirit. And Højbjerg is playing at a higher level than Rice, I would say. He's
West Ham are above
improved.
Tottenham in the table.
Yeah, currently.
And he's the captain.
Captain.
And I think they've conceded the second or third least goals.
That's
Whereas
part of the system. It's a 5 at the back, and Kufau's been really good, and the centre back's been really good. I disagree completely. I'm not letting you have Rice. You had Shaw. You're not having Rice.
all right, well, it's your it's your podcast.
This is my thing.
Yeah, it's your video. I want to do another one. Yeah, I want to do another one so you can have Højbjerg, right?
Okay. If I don't get Højbjerg, you're banned. Okay.
Yeah,
Højbjerg in midfield. Yep. Gundogan, Fernandez, Grealish, and Salah we all agreed on. So Gundogan and Fernandez in centre mid, with Grealish and Salah on the wings. And then striker, I'll give you Kane.
You know you want to.
Yeah, you give me Højbjerg, I'll give you Kane.
I didn't give you Højbjerg. You threatened me for Højbjerg.
I was offered Højbjerg, so I'll take it.
Definitely wasn't. But anyway, you can have
Højbjerg. We had Højbjerg. I'll put him at striker. If
negotiation, threatening. I've got your mum captive. It's yeah. All right, you can have Højbjerg.
Calvert-Lewin is not in the team. Kane is. Who would be your manager? I ain't thought of that. This has just come off the top of my head.
We haven't really thought of that. I was thinking. I know the top of the league, but I think with what Pep's doing to football yet again with his fullbacks, and he's not got a striker, and what he's doing with his midfielders and his wingers, and you can't not pick him this season. I think he's yet again brought another dimension to football.
Yeah,
and it's just his brain must just. It's just.
He lives and breathes football, doesn't he? That's what it is.
Does.
At the end of the day, football's everything. And I'll say, if you compare him to other managers who have changed football, you think of Cruyff. You think of, in England in particular, you think of Arsene Wenger changed British football.
He did, but that was by his foreign imports more than anything.
No, it was a lot of other things as well. He did this thing where fitness was far more important for Arsenal than any other team. Teams would go to the pub on a Saturday after a game. When Wenger came in, that stopped. It was diets and they had those ice baths. Yes,
so he was an arse.
He ruined
their lives. But no,
and then
I think
Mourinho's the same. So I think Guardiola's in the same category as impactful, influential managers as Mourinho, Wenger, and Ferguson.
Yeah, so I think I also we've got to give a mention to Dean Smith.
No, I would say Brendan Rodgers goes ahead of Dean Smith. If anything, David Moyes.
I think Brendan Rodgers is a proven great manager. He is. Yeah, you can't deny the fact what he did at Celtic.
He's so ravaged with injuries, and he's made it work. And he's tactically been able to keep at that high level, regardless of the fact that they've been decimated by injuries. And Vardy is now 34.
Yeah. No, I do agree. Vardy's 34, smokes and drinks Red Bull, so he's not human. But anyway, I think Dean Smith, though, I think where he's brought Villa, when he came in, were we mid-table in the Championship?
Yeah, 12th in the Championship.
He's got us promoted. He's kept us up. And with Dean Smith, it is literally we're going up. So I think, we'll see where we are at the end of the season. I'm sure we'll do another one of these for our full team of the season.
Yeah.
And we'll revisit the manager. But for me, currently, it's got to be Pep.
Yeah. I'd definitely say the same. I know it's like Premier League, but he has to do well in the Champions League this season. Man City have such an opportunity to do well in the Champions League. They blew it last year. They had their best chance last season. They blew it.
That's what he's been brought in to do. He didn't get brought in to win the Premier League.
No, and the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, they won the Champions League, and I don't think they'll get it, but
we can hope. English
Yeah.
team with the Champions League is only good.
Oh yeah, definitely. I completely agree. But yeah, so it's got to be
Yeah.
Pep. Is Pep yours as well?
Yeah, Pep's mine as well. With Brendan Rodgers being just a potential. Just a bit
The
of a
orange boy.
talking point. Yeah, he can be the assistant coach. He can play with the cones.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
A bit like
be the
Mikel
John Terry.
Arteta. He can be the Mikel Arteta, who's somehow got an Arsenal job for putting out cones. Anyway, that's the end of our team of the season so far. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you disagree, let us know and say we're stupid and we don't know anything about football. I mean, if you say Højbjerg shouldn't be in the team, then I'm going to delete.
Definitely shouldn't.
So, shut up, Mitchell. So, thanks a lot for watching. Mitchell, thanks for joining me again. I'll see you all again soon.
See you later.